Hello, everybody. I hope the sound's coming through okay. So I'm rendering a massive video at the minute. Don't know if everybody's going to come in, see what the audio's like. Seems to be really slow. Stream. Let's actually stream. Anybody coming in? We'll see if anybody comes in. If not, I'm just going to explain why I've not made any videos this week. I've been really busy with other stuff. We're currently moving house at the minute, so we're getting stuff ready to move and other things, life things. I think people know me from the past. I'm not a regular uploader. I've got one person here. Hello, whoever you are. But yeah, the stream might be coming through a bit weird. Is the audio okay? Is it breaking up? Just need to know, because I'm rendering a massive video at the minute. It's about an hour long, the video, so it's taking up a lot of processor speed on my crappy little laptop, so I might be breaking up a little bit. So basically, the video will be uploading. It'll probably be live later tonight for about 9 or 10 o'clock, given the fact that it's about an hour long. But I'm basically looking at how. Oh, that's great. Thanks, Kevin. Have you watched a video by Politico where he's looking at the evidence that Tommy Robinson supplied in that documentary Silenced? He's claimed to do a forensic analysis of the evidence. I know he's done 2 videos. I haven't looked at the other one yet, but I've looked at the latest one, and it just falls flat on its face, especially when you consider that the evidence that wasn't allowed to be admitted into court wasn't even taken into account. Anyway, I've done an hour-long video basically forensically analysing his video on Tommy Robinson's evidence. So that's pretty interesting. Yeah, you should go and watch it, Kevin. I'll try and get the link for it. If I can get a link for it, I'll post it in the chat. So you can go and check it out. Just give me a minute. I'll try and find it. But yeah, and I point out his bias because of the law to when he's talking about Tommy Robinson. But yeah, there's definitely a bias there, especially the latter half, how Tommy's a grifter, how he's fraudulently getting money from people because he's lying, even though he provides no evidence to how Tommy is lying or anything like that. It's interesting. You know, he claims to be, forensically analysing the video, but he doesn't provide any evidence apart from what the judge said. He just rehashes what the judge said, and he just takes that as gospel, where in other videos, when he's talked about other people, he hasn't done that. He's basically called one judge an activist. But yeah, I'll try and get you the link. So you can go and watch it before my video comes out. I highly recommend people do that. I might actually leave a link in the video before they go and watch mine to their own conclusions before they come to my video about the guy. And you don't realise until the end what he's about. Yes. So what about awesome? Great news for America. I was going to do a video today, but I've been so busy doing this video. It's taken me about 8 hours to do this thing, to get it right. Try and get you on the screen. everything's going pretty slow at the minute because obviously it's rendering the video. They will try and say he is making money for lies so they can strip him of his assets. Yeah, exactly. That's the conclusion I've drawn from it. And when people call him a grifter and they call Tommy a grifter, it's like, well, there are easier ways to grift the con people than to put your life at risk and that of your whole family. You know, grifters and con artists tend not to be on the side of putting themselves at risk. They like to be not at risk. So it would be more easier for Tommy to be a grifter if he just was on the side of the Islamists and the far left. Then he could grift all he liked then, couldn't he? If that's what he wanted to be. But it's not. And that's where their argument falls flat on its face. No grifter or con artist is going to put themselves to that amount of risk if all they're after is money, are they? Because he could generally just lose his life. And they forget that he lives most of his life abroad is because he can't live in this country because of the Osman warnings, because he has got serious risk to his life from Islamist terrorists and gangs that basically want to kill him. Didn't mention in his video, Politico didn't mention in his video about the armed gangs of jihadis turning up to Tommy Robinson's mum and dad's house in the middle of the night with knives and baseball bats, wanting to kill Tommy. None of that's ever mentioned, but yeah, Tommy's a grifter. He's a con artist. Yeah. No, but they conveniently never mention any of that stuff. The risk to his life, to his kids' lives, or anything like that. It's all about the money. And he even said in the video, Political said in the video at the end, it's like when you're going to get picked up in a Bentley at the end of your prison term, it makes the grift all the more worthwhile. And that was paraphrasing there, but it's like he can get killed just by being in prison. That's the last place he wants to be, is in prison. Why would any grifter knowingly put themselves in that amount of danger? They wouldn't, would they? Because that's what grifters do and con artists do. They want to get money with the least amount of risk they possibly can. Because grifters and con artists tend to be cowards, don't they? And that's not a definition of Tommy Robinson. He's definitely not a coward. That's for sure. And then he at the end of his so-called analysis, you'll see all this in the video when it comes out of mine, that he starts just asserting stuff without any evidence whatsoever. And you can tell the guy's got an axe to grind against Tommy with the way he's talking through the video as well. And it's like, you don't realise what you're saying. You don't think people are going to pick up on this, but you do. Right, I'll see if I can find that, his video. So I'm just trying to find this video so I can post it in the comments so people can actually go and take a look. I'm surprised that nobody else has picked up on it. None of the bigger YouTubers have picked up on it and done a critique of it and just dissected it themselves, whether they don't want to give this guy any oxygen or airtime or anything like that. But I think when people make videos like this, they should be scrutinized, and there needs to be a counter argument against what they're saying, because once again, it's just them coming out just to demonize Tommy and make him look like he's some kind of boogeyman that should be avoided at all costs. And that's the thing that we have to try and counter. Biggest terrorist in the country is the government. I can probably make France stop them boats and take back the illegals. It's easy. I just tell France no more fishing in the British waters till they do. Exactly. Or you know what else would be a massive deterrent is that we stop all the benefits, we stop the incentives to come to this country in the first place, and then if they don't stop coming, then we just put a bloody big battleship in there and escort them back to France. That's the way you do things. Australia did it. They started turning the boats back. And you know what? Once they started turning the boats back, they stopped coming. Once they started meeting resistance, they stopped doing it. But our government doesn't want it to stop. That's why the French are escorting them across with warships. It's to try and stop us from turning them back. That's what that's about. It's a show of force by France. Say, look, if you try and turn them back, you're facing a battleship. Well, they should be facing a battleship of ours to say, look, take them back to your own waters. We don't want them. But they won't do it. Or lose £1 billion a year in fishing stocks. Exactly. But our politicians don't have any backbone, Kevin. We don't have anybody in Parliament with any backbone, do we? Or with any real power to do anything about it. Yeah, we've got 5 Reform MPs in Parliament, but what power have they really got? They can just be ignored. They don't really carry any weight. They haven't got the full might of a massive political party behind them in Parliament, have they? So people stand up and take notice. Look at how people look at the Green Party and the Liberal Democrats. They look at them as a joke. And Reform have got less MPs than they have. So until we get more MPs in Parliament that are actually right wing, then nothing's going to change. Anything the Reform says will just be ignored, because they can be ignored, because they don't carry any real weight yet. And if Nigel Farage keeps on, and people are going to turn off and walk away from this, but it's got to be said, Nigel Farage needs to take a more stronger stance than he's doing at the minute. And, I was watching an interview after Donald Trump won the presidency. His son, was it Donald Trump Jr.? He was saying that the way that you deal with the mainstream media is the way that Vance dealt with the mainstream media. He didn't go up and cozy up to the mainstream media. He just tore their narrative down. And that's what Farage and Tice need to do. They need to go into these interviews and not just try to cozy up to them or appease to them, but call them out for their misinformation. Just tear their narrative down. Because look at what Donald Trump said in his acceptance speech. He said Vance went in there and just obliterated the mainstream media. And that's the type of leadership we need. People that will do that. If they're telling lies, if the media are trying to control you by smearing your name, you go into that interview and then you tear them down for it. You say, no, that's not true. What you're saying is factually not true. And then just go ahead with evidence and destroy the narrative. Unfortunately, Nigel Farage and Richard Tice are not very good at doing that. I believe that Ben Habib would be good at doing that. Very good at doing that. Going in there and tearing apart the Reform narrative. And I don't want to keep bashing Reform. I wish they were the party that we need. But they've drifted away from what they said during the election. We're expecting this right-wing party that was going to go in there, kick ass, and, take no crap from anybody. But they've been really weak on things. They have blocked the farmers' protest, but that could block the boats. Yeah, I didn't think that was going to happen. They fear the farmers. The government fears the farmers more than anything else, because they will take no crap. They've seen what happened in France and stuff like that. When these people get going, they really get going. Hey, Babs, how you doing? Just been telling everybody that there's going to be a long video coming out at some point tonight. It's basically a guy called Politico. He's made a video about Tommy Robinson. the comments so people can actually go and watch it themselves. I think you'll be just as frustrated. It's not a particularly great video. I tried it earlier, and the audio was awful, and they'll scrutinise every single remark he's making, and then just will prove when it comes out. Right, this is the video. Right, it's not letting me. But go and check it out. I'll type a comment out. It's not letting me post it. Right, it's. I'll post the title of the video in the chat. No sound. The sound gone off. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Hello? Just post in the chat if you can hear me. Right. Good, that's great. Thank you, Babs. I think it's because I've opened this other this video up that right. It should come back now, the sound. Right, so the guy's channel is called Polticos. Look at it. Yeah, it's because I'm rendering a huge video, Babs. Right, that should be posting now. Everything's slowing down. So go check the chat. It's Polticos, Tommy Robinson, The Truth, The Scrutiny, The Supporters, and The Money. Go check out that video on YouTube. Right, I'm going to end this stream. So don't forget to go and watch my video later. I just want people to know there's a video coming out later. I'm going to end the stream because if it's breaking up and the sound's rubbish, then there's no point me doing it. It's because my laptop's doing loads of stuff and it's struggling, I think. Right, thanks everybody coming. Go watch the video. Go watch the title of that video, and I shall see you all soon. Bye. Thanks for coming and watching.